I am an 18-year-old who secretly crossdresses. Since I was young, I have been interested in clothing of the opposite gender and began secretly wearing my sister's clothes. Over time, I have purchased many feminine items online and typically dress up in my room during nighttime. One day, while browsing online, I came across the most adorable pink baby doll set. The intricate details and soft fabrics caught my attention and I knew I had to have it. I quickly made the purchase and eagerly awaited its arrival. When the package finally arrived, I couldn't wait to open it and try on my new purchase. The moment I laid eyes on the set, I was overjoyed. It was even more beautiful than I had imagined. The soft pink and white lace, along with the delicate embroidery, were the perfect touch. I couldn't wait to dress up in it and show it off. The timing couldn't have been more perfect, as my family was going out for the afternoon. I decided to make it extra special by getting all dolled up and doing something more adventurous inside the house. I made sure the front and back doors of the house were locked and double-checked to make sure they were secure before heading to my room. I closed all the curtains, creating a cozy and intimate space for myself. I had already shaved in the morning, so I washed my face and put on some moisturizer to make it easier to remove my makeup later. Then I began to apply my foundation, but I was so excited at that moment that I probably applied more than needed. However, I was able to remove the excess by gently dabbing it with some tissues. Next, I put on some eyeliner, which I usually struggle to apply neatly on both my eyes so that they match. After a few tries, I finally managed to do a decent job with the eyeliner. I then applied some pink lip gloss and my makeup was done. I did some final retouching to my makeup, making sure everything was perfect, and then I got undressed. My body was shaking with excitement as I put on the pink thong and I loved how it felt and looked on my body. Then I put on the pink baby doll and I instantly felt so feminine and beautiful. Buying the baby doll set was definitely worth it. I had been eyeing it for weeks and finally decided to treat myself. The lace and mesh fabric felt so soft and delicate against my skin and I loved the way it accentuated my curves. Now, for the final part of the transformation. I put on my favorite blonde wig and adjusted it nicely on my head. I looked in the mirror and I was so happy with my reflection. I looked so cute and feminine. I was totally in love with my new look. I decided to wear my golden pumps to complete the look and put them on. I posed in front of the mirror and couldn't stop admiring myself. I felt so confident and beautiful. I took a lot of photos and videos of myself, and it was so much fun. I felt a mix of fear and excitement as I ventured out of my room for the first time fully dressed. My heart raced as I made my way to my sister's room, where I planned to sneak in and grab some of her perfume. Despite my nerves, I managed to open the door and peek inside, but the open curtains made me worried about being seen by someone outside. Eventually, I mustered up the courage to enter and try on one of her perfumes, which I found to be pleasant. I decided to take some photos and videos in my sister's room, feeling excited to be in her space all dressed up. I had always been fascinated by her room and the way she had decorated it, and I knew that it would be the perfect backdrop for some fun photos. As I started snapping pictures and recording videos, I felt a rush of excitement and I couldn't help but smile. But as I was about to leave the room, I wondered if I should go to the living room and take some photos there too. I knew it would be riskier, as the living room was much more visible from the rest of the house and there was a higher chance of getting caught. But the thrill of the possibility of getting caught was too much to resist. I slowly walked to the living room and my heart was beating faster again. The thrill of getting caught was quite intense. Even though I must have spent so much time in the living room, this time it felt as if it was my first time being there. I was just too scared to relax and take pictures, so I rushed and took a couple of pictures and hurried back to my room. Once I was in the safety of my room, I felt more relieved. I had decided to try my hand at making a few videos for social media, so I set up my phone on a tripod and got ready to start filming. However, as I began to record, I quickly realized that the lighting in the room was not quite right. It was a bit too dark. I thought about what I could do to fix the lighting situation, and I decided that the best course of action would be to open up the curtains in the room. But before I did that, I wanted to make sure that none of my neighbors were outside and would be able to see me while I was filming. So, I peeked outside the window to check, and thankfully, I didn't see anyone. With that, I slowly opened the curtains, letting in more light into the room. The improvement in the lighting was immediate and it was much better now to make some videos. But at the same time, I was really nervous that someone would see me, and I was very conscious of this throughout the filming process. I couldn't help but occasionally glance over at the window to make sure that nobody was watching me. Despite this initial nervousness, I persisted and started taking a few videos. After a few takes, I found myself becoming more comfortable and confident in front of the camera. I even decided to try out some different styles of videos, such as making some girly videos of myself. I was really enjoying myself and lost track of time, but I knew that my parents would be coming home soon. So, I decided to make one more video and call it a day. Upon completing my final video recording and attempting to stop the recording, I found myself in an unexpected and unsettling situation. As I went to hit the stop button, I suddenly noticed two young girls at the window of the house across the street. They seemed to be filming me and giggling amongst themselves, and the realization that I was being watched so closely sent shivers down my spine. I was completely terrified and so shaken by the experience that I panicked and immediately closed the curtains, cutting off their view of me. I was left with questions that raced through my mind. How long were they watching me? Why didn't I notice them before? Why was I so stupid to open the curtains for such a long time? Were they actually recording me? These questions and more were hammering in my mind. As I undressed and changed into my everyday clothing, I couldn't shake the embarrassment of being caught in such a compromising position. I quickly made my way to the bathroom to remove my makeup, all the while worrying about the possibility that I had been recorded. As I tidied myself up, I couldn't help but think about the girls who had been peeking through my window. They appeared to be in their 20s and I couldn't shake the fear that they might have recorded the incident and shared it on social media platforms such as TikTok or Instagram. The thought of being humiliated in such a way made me feel extremely uncomfortable and I was at a loss as to what to do next. Should I go over to their house and ask them not to post any videos on the internet? My mind was running in circles as I tried to come up with a solution to this difficult situation. I heard my father's car pull into the driveway, indicating that my parents had returned home. I quickly checked my face for any traces of makeup and rushed to open the front door. Glancing through the side window, I saw that the girls were still outside and I felt a wave of fear wash over me. I quickly retreated to my room and pretended to be on the phone. My family entered the house and my mother called out to tell me they had brought food. I told them I was watching a movie and would eat later. Fortunately, no one came into my room at that time. After a few minutes, I peeked out the window again and saw that the girls were gone. I was still scared to open the curtains in case my mother suspected something, but eventually, I mustered the courage to do so, my heart racing with fear. My mind was overwhelmed with a flood of thoughts. I was unfamiliar with the girls from the neighboring house, and it was uncertain if they were friends of Jane, the neighbor's daughter, or simply relatives. At the time, I was too startled to think clearly about what had just occurred and what my next move should be. I noticed that the girls had their phones out, making me wonder if they had taken photos or recorded a video. This would be disastrous if they were to post it online, and someone recognized me. I lacked the courage to confront the girls and visit the house, and I could only hope that they wouldn't post anything online or tell the neighbors what they had seen.